Welcome, everyone, to the third episode of the All Stuff No Fluff podcast, a show where we talk with friends about the games and stuff we like on a monthly basis. So, as some of you may already know, E3 is almost upon us. We're in E3 season in just a few days, to be exact. And Nintendo has officially announced their E3 plans. Now, for the record, we are recording this on Friday, June 4th, and for Mr. PushDustIn, it is June 5th. So, around the end of the week here, and we're not too far from the convention now, but I say that because news and leaks are happening so fast recently that it's possible by the time this uploads, some sort of announcement may have made its way onto the internet. And while we haven't gotten anything Switch Pro related, we did get official word that Nintendo's upcoming show is going to be clocking in at 40 minutes, and we'll be focusing on software. Hilarious choice of words, in my opinion. Mostly releasing in 2021. Very exciting stuff, as you could probably tell from the tone of my voice. And I can think of no better people to sit down and have a chat with about predictions and stuff, hopes and dreams, than with our amazing podcast fam here. So thank you guys for coming on again and joining me for this pre-E3 discussion. Yes, round of applause, round of one for everyone here. You guys are great.
I feel like you're gonna find someone better than me, but okay.
Well, I think you're cool, okay? God. I mean, you sing and you dance. What more could you want? Am I right? Okay.
No comment. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So like I said, this is going to be our official predictions, but we'll also be covering things that we're excited about, and as usual, our dream reveals as well. Insert a little sparkle jazz hands into that. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Now, one interesting thing I'm noticing about this show, as I'm looking at my notes here, is that we already know about a few games leading into this year's show, some of which have release dates and some that don't. Just to catch us all up, the big titles that we do know about for the rest of the year include Mario Golf, which is in a few weeks. I'm personally really excited about that.
Oh, I'm so hyped.
Zelda, yeah, exactly. Zelda Skyward Sword is coming next month. God, pray for my wallet between the amiibo, the game, the Joy-Con. Oh, God. Never mind. I don't even want to think about it.
Did you get the Joy-Con pre-order?
I did, yes. I got it from Target,
I also did, yeah.
Same. I still
need
it.
I super lucked out on that. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I was on Twitter the day the link went up, and I'm like, well, cool, buy-in.
Yep, I did the same.
And then, of course, after Zelda, we also have the two Pokemon titles, that being the Diamond and Pearl remakes, as well as, we'll go ahead and include Legends Arceus in this list as well, even though it's technically next year. And then, outside of those games, we also have a few other games that we know about that don't have a release date currently, but we anticipate that we'll probably hear about them soon. Those being Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, lots of threes, Metroid Prime 4, and of course, the Breath of the Wild sequel. Now, for those of you at the table, and even those of you listening online as well, you may have picked up on the fact that this is actually a pretty decently sized list of games here. But all that said, we'll go ahead and use this as a jumping off point into our first question, which is, are you excited about E3? And which of the games that we know about are you most excited for? PushDustIn.
Oh, I'm first. Okay. So of the games that you listed there, I think I'm more excited to, mostly excited to learn about Bayonetta 3, because we really don't know a lot about that game. Compared to the other titles, we at least know how they will kind of function and everything like that. Well, Metroid Prime 4 is completely, redone its development cycle. I'm not sure if we'll actually see that at E3, or if we do, we'll, just a small teaser or whatever. Bayonetta 3, I feel like it's like with the Game Awards, like we were like, oh, it's gonna come at the Game Awards because we've just been constantly expecting it. So I feel like it's long overdue, and I'm excited to see how that will turn out.
Yeah. No, I think Bayonetta 3 is way more likely than Metroid. I can already tell just from gauging on Twitter that people are still expecting to hear about Metroid anytime soon, and I don't really subscribe to that idea all that much.
I think we'll get some sort of Metroid announcement, but I don't think we'll get Metroid Prime 4. Or if we do, it'll be very limited.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they're going to show something, it's got to be something more than a logo this time around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, yeah.
The irony is that they just showcase the updated official logo and that's it, and it says still in development.
yeah.
The 4 looks a little bit different. They're
They
using a
just
different
swap-
serif
They
font.
inverse the colors or something.
They're using a
Maybe
different
they can
sans
call it
serif font.
4.2.
One thing I will say about Metroid Prime 4, before we move on to everyone else, is that it's going to have the most interesting development story, I think, if we ever end up hearing about it. And I would love to. Is that even a thing in game development history where we hear like the behind the scenes
It
of a project
is,
like
but
that?
is it for
Kinda.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
No.
it's
Yeah,
more
that's
for
more my
Nintendo.
question.
They keep that sort of stuff under wraps. Like,
'Cause it was-
Yeah.
They
even
really
like
do.
years later, they don't like let people talk about anything like that.
Yeah,
Is it-
there are documentaries. Like there's one for God of War. There's probably one for a Rockstar game, and then the Valve famously like produced a bunch of articles discussing the development of Half-Life. So it exists. Nintendo, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people like Sakurai, because Sakurai is like one of the very few people at Nintendo who's like, this is what it was like working on this game, and it sucked at these parts, but at these parts it was kind of cool, that type of thing. So
yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
I don't know that Nintendo does it very often though. So
Yeah.
Also, wasn't Metroid Prime like Bandai Namco, and then Nintendo was like,
It was like Bandai Namco Singapore, according to rumors.
Yeah.
yeah, we
I think
never
it was,
we
like,
never.
Singapore.
Yeah, we had suspicion to believe that it was Namco. I don't know if it was 100% confirmed. Like, I don't know if they came out and said it.
They were
All
a
we
lot
do
with
know
them,
is that
though.
it was. Yeah, all we do know is that at first it was not retro, and now it's retro. Like that's what we know for sure. So
And some of the talent from Metroid Prime 1 and 2 and 3 have already left retro. So like they had to like kind of like recruit people back and stuff like that, right?
yeah, isn't the
Man.
director of the original series coming back for this?
I believe
that
so.
I think a few people did come back. But that's why it's like a news article every time something like Retro hired a new lighting artist and it's the person who worked on God of War. Like that's why we're scraping for news like that, because we don't know who still does and doesn't work at Retro anymore. We do know a few people who left because they've gone on and publicly said, "Oh, I don't work there anymore." But with regards to who remained from the original team, we really don't have much of an idea until we see the credits of Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, until their names
Man.
pop up on a different game.
Yeah.
Sometime
That's
in
gotta
the
be
year.
such an interesting story.
That's the point.
Yeah. Well, regardless if we hear about it or not, we'll see the game at some point. It seems like, so that's something good to hang on to as a Metroid fan myself. Amanda, why don't you hit us up next? Are you excited about E3? What's the one game from that list you think you're most excited for?
I am so excited for E3 because I love E3. I always have. And it's really a tie between Breath of the Wild 2 and Metroid Prime 4. Like, I'm really excited about both. I'm a little more excited. I have to admit, I'm a little more excited about seeing something Metroid related just because we haven't seen anything in so long. And we know that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be amazing anyways, just because it's Breath of the Wild. So, like,
Yeah.
I want to see something else to look forward to because we at least have an idea of what we're expecting in Breath of the Wild. So I really want to see some Metroid. That's what I think what I'm the most excited about.
Wow, I'm surprised. I almost felt like that was a redundant question before I asked
I mean,
it.
it is.
I'm
It's
surprised.
it's
It's not,
more
it's
like Breath
not,
of the Wild
it's
is a
not.
given. I think it's just more that's just a given. So Metroid is like I'm excited about this is great, whereas Breath of the Wild is like, well, of course I'm excited about that. That's not even point asking there.
That's wow, cool. All right, I guess, Sam.
Well, now I'm thinking. Well, so it's true. Like the most exciting thing. I'm excited about E3. The most exciting thing from E3 is always the thing that you don't know about, I think. But of the things we do know about, I gotta stick with Breath of the Wild 2, I think. I really, really want to see more from that.
What are you hoping to see from it?
I want to see a cinematic. Like a new cinematic.
Same.
And
Me
I mean, in a
too.
perfect world, I'd like a good cinematic, a title, of course, a release date, and some treehouse gameplay. But I'll settle for at least a cinematic and a title.
We've been clinging on to that same cinematic of rehydrated Ganon or
Yes,
whatever that is.
give me
for, like,
rehydrated
10
Ganon
years
for
now.
real.
Do it, you cowards.
Pour some water on Ganon, damn it. Dang it. Whatever.
Do it, you won't.
We're using bad words in this or not.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Wow, excuse me. Okay, so a lot of Breath of the Wild excitement. I guess continuing off that wave, Alex, are you excited about E3? What are you excited about?
So I'm like a mix. So I'm excited. I'm like both excited and kind of dreading E3. Because on one hand, it's like, you know, this is kind of the best time to be a gamer because you can kind of like get all these new announcements. But as someone who has to kind of run a team that we have to cover stuff, oh boy, is it stressful. I feel like it's less stressful this year specifically because kind of like what Amanda says, like Breath of the Wild 2, we're getting news for that this year. Aonuma in February said, we're gonna have news at some point this year. And if we're going back into the normal direct timeline, it's either at E3 or it's in September. And like, that's it, unless they do a random drop. So I'm kind of going into this expecting Breath of the Wild 2 to be there, flat out expecting it. I'm excited to see more stuff from Mario Golf because motion golf, like on the Switch.
True.
I want it. Just inject it into my veins.
Exactly.
But Breath of the Wild 2 is obviously on the top of the list. I want to see what they do. If it is what people are saying, that it is darker than Majora's Mask, sign me up. I want it. I'm in. But
is that the current theory?
there were some reports
They said
early
it
on.
at some point.
It was said. But what I really kind of want to see, and I'm going to jump off I'm in on this one, Metroid Prime 4, for a couple reasons. One, it's been a while since we've heard about it. Two, Metroid is a very cool series. Three, I want to see Elias Thompson have an actual reaction for goddamn once. Because we have our Twitch director and finance director at Zelda Universe, Elias Thompson, also internet meme funny person, runs Metroid HQ as well. He is the resident Metroid fan at Zelda Universe. And so I want to see him actually react to something. That's all I want.
Is he notoriously like the guy that's like, it's all cool, but not what I wanted kind of thing?
Yes, to the point
He
where
takes pride in not showing any emotion ever.
there in the
Okay.
reaction compilation that we did for the Skyward Sword reveal, I decided just for fun, because he was clearly visibly disappointed in the reveal of Skyward Sword HD and not like something like Twilight Princess. I may have put a little cut of Kirby Enthusiasm, slowed up with his face, and Metroid Prime 4 zooming in on it. I will send you the clip if you want B-roll.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah, at some point later, you should send that into our little group chat
I will
here.
send
would love to see
you
that.
that specific thing. It is quite fun. And I regret nothing. Sorry, Elias. Fight me.
Wow. Okay, so you and Amanda are pretty much on the same thing then.
Yeah,
Like, Breath of the Wild, obviously in a different category. Metroid is. where
I
it's at
also been
for now.
hearing rumors of other things because they've been renewing every Zelda trademark, and I'm like, I swear to God, if Ocarina of Time is here, I will actually lose my mind.
Oh, man. What is that? Like that's gonna be like the fourth version, I guess.
And
if
I
that was
don't
ever to get
care.
remade.
I will buy every
I
single
don't
version.
either. It's just fun keeping track.
How many times has Doom been ported? All of them. All of the times is the answer to that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I guess the last person here, if I'm not mistaken, is Yoshiller, right?
That's me.
All right.
My answer changes based on whether or not E3 is a physical event or a digital only event, because usually the games I'm most excited to see are the ones that I want to go play demos of. So
Yeah.
that's not going to happen this year. So really, Metroid Prime 4 is the one I'd be most interested in seeing, because we don't even know what that game will look like. Like, we at least know Breath of the Wild 2 will at least somewhat resemble Breath of the Wild. And Bayonetta has always been an HD game, so Bayonetta 3 will probably look super cool. Maybe they'll change her hairstyle again. But we have no idea how Metroid Prime 4 will appear. We have a general sense, because Metroid has a specific type of style to it, but we've got nothing besides a logo for that one. So I'm very curious to see that. It's been 2 years since they announced that they were restarting the project, so I feel like we could be due for a trailer. it could go either way for Metroid Prime 4, I feel. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of the games we already know about, I have no concerns with. Like, I assume Mario Golf's going to be good. I assume Splatoon 3 is going to be good. I assume Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be good. So really, the one I want to see is the one that I would have concerns about being good, and that's probably Pokemon Legends Arceus. So
I feel
That's
that.
been a pretty hot topic lately.
it's just like, it's just, if we see more of it, maybe people will calm down, or it'll do the opposite. People will find more things to complain about.
Yoshiller,
That's-
these are
that's the one I
Pokemon
wanna
fans. Yoshiller, these are Pokemon fans. We can all know what the answer is going to be right now, right? They hate
yeah.
I mean, I have a
You
everything.
can say ahead of time.
I know. But it is the one I want to see just because it's the one that I'm the most uncertain of. I'll be happy if I see Splatoon 3, but there's also a part of me that's like, oh, I'm going to buy that regardless because I'm a sucker. Legends Arceus, I need to wait and see. So
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I feel like we're feeling.
That's actually a good point that I didn't consider either. Is that like most of the games on that list, I can say with a fair amount of confidence that they're probably going to be good. Like most of them, if not any, will be bad. But I think the one that like, that you picked that is the most up in the air is probably Metroid Prime.
yeah.
Because the last one we got before this was Federation Force, right?
Yeah, and that was handled by Next Level Games, which, if all things considered, it actually looks pretty good for a 3DS game.
It does,
but
I mean, I
it
don't
doesn't
really
give us a
think it
sense.
deserves its hate.
Yeah, it doesn't really give
But-
us a sense of like what Metroid Prime 4 is going to look like, though.
that
Yeah, that was gonna be my next point. Definitely way different than classic Metroid for
that
sure.
was a game that also would have benefited from not like being revealed as robot soccer first.
Yeah.
That was where the marketing
Yeah.
could have gone a very different direction of let's show what this game actually is, which is like that what the army like co-op-y thing first, and then let's talk about the robot soccer mini games that we have instead of leading with that and then following with the actual thing. It was a choice. Knockout
think it's-
City, I feel
no,
like did the same
reveal
thing.
was definitely.
It's difficult for Nintendo because like Metroid, it's like critically loved but doesn't sell well, and so I think like with the whole soccer thing, they're trying to figure out ways to kind of expand the Metroid audience,
Was Rocket League
and
big at
it
that
just
point?
completely fell on its face.
If it's 2015, I think Rocket League was coincidentally just taking off at that point. Like it just started.
Like it was
it's-
just
So
out.
pro-
Definitely
so
not
probably
at the heights that
unrelated.
it's at now, though.
Yeah, probably
Uh,
unrelated.
Okay, because I'm just like, what was out that would have prompted a similar thing? And my first thought was Rocket League, but 'cause I
It does have
remember
a
that
Rocket
one.
League vibe. You're right. But I
Yeah.
think it's pure coincidence.
Yeah, I can't imagine Nintendo looking at Rocket League and being like, oh, we should do that.
Well, we gotta capitalize on that. Come on.
I want that in Metroid. Yeah, I got it.
Perfect combination. Name a better combination. You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
Um,
we'll see Mario Golf or Skyward Sword that much at E3 because I feel like Nintendo's already doing the marketing for those games. And
I
I
agree.
agree. They'll probably be in the sizzle reel at the end, kind of
Yeah.
like they did with Mario Maker 2 with 2019. And I
Yeah.
think also that Game Builder Garage will probably be in the sizzle reel too
I
because it
think
comes out that
they'll-
week.
They'll all be in the Treehouse
Oh,
stream.
true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually a good
won't-
point.
won't-
They'll probably all
Yeah.
they're all probably gonna get some good gameplay in the Treehouse stream to show off any mechanics that haven't been shown yet or to elaborate on them. But especially golf, they just did like those 2 really long trailers
Yeah, that
weeks
leads me to
ago,
believe that-
and yeah, I just don't think they're gonna show them.
they've already showed off all the characters even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's probably ready to go. They're just at the marketing and maybe bug fixing point.
Yeah. What also?
Oh,
isn't the
it's already
game,
gone gold, I'm sure.
Isn't
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
isn't the game one also like out on the 11th? Isn't
Game
that
Builder
out next
Garage?
week?
It's out. Yep,
Oh,
11th
is
or
that
12th.
next week?
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah,
Okay,
so that
then-
that won't
yeah.
even be there. If anything, I could see Skyward Sword and Mario Golf being there as a hey reminder. These games are coming out within the next couple weeks. Go buy them,
Yeah.
and like that's
Yeah.
it.
They could
Nintendo
announce
is-
the DLC for golf because I'm sure
That's
that game's
true.
gonna get DLC.
Golf 2? Wow.
Oh,
I want
No,
now.
we're gonna
it's
get
DLC.
No.
that's another point. We're gonna get the Hyrule Warriors DLC too. So
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I
Can
think
we-
that's the thing we're gonna get, that they say it's available for download tomorrow or something like that.
Well, right, 'cause we
tonight.
still don't know what it is, and it's the one thing that like they literally was like, oh yeah, we have DLC. Here's a list, and it's a bunch of just nothing from what I saw, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's very broad. They don't-
All
they're
we
not very
get is Link
specific.
looking like a space pirate, and like that's it.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Space Pirate and Metroid crossover?
I'm just saying, you can't prove it's not.
There was a pitch for Breath of the Wild to originally be a plot involving an alien invasion, so it's not too out of the question.
Oh my god,
I mean, they were
beginning of the
aliens
Nintendo
in
Universe.
Majora's Mask. So.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also true. Fair point. Okay, well, now that I'm going last, I feel like mine isn't quite as original, but yeah. So personally, I'm feeling more excited about this year's presentation than years past, simply because of the lineup of the games that we have. I might be in the minority about that, and I will agree with Yoshiller that physical events are way more fun because you actually get to play the games. But for me personally, just from the titles that we know about, I feel like we're already getting a strong showcase of games. Plus, whatever other games or software, as Nintendo has so lovingly clarified, yeah, whatever other games we don't know about going into this year's show. So from where I'm standing, I don't think I have any reason to not be excited. I'm just very curious to see what Nintendo's had cooking behind the scenes, especially in regards to Breath of the Wild 2. For that one, I think I'm really just itching to see the direction that the game ends up taking. You know, is it going to be more action heavy now that it seems to be taking place after the events of the first game and we have reunited with Zelda again? Will it even be taking place on the same map as the original, since Zelda seems to be suggesting the desire to restore lands beyond Hyrule at the end of the first game? What's the deal with the dead seemingly becoming reanimated in the reveal trailer? I don't know. So, as you can see, I have a lot of questions, and I'm so eager to learn more as I consider the original Breath of the Wild a masterpiece, and the idea of getting even more content within the Breath of the Wild universe is exciting enough of an idea for me. So,
I have a crazy
very,
theory
very
about
curious.
Breath of the Wild 2, and I actually want to hear what Zelda Universe, what you guys thought. So, like, in the first Breath of the Wild, like, the whole, like, gameplay systems were based on emergent gameplay, where, like, you had all these systems interacting with each other. What happens if, for Breath of the Wild 2, they introduce, like, magic? So, like, they bring back the magic meter and everything like that, and Link, you know, can just do a bunch of magic, and then that's what the gameplay is based around.
So, like, abandoning the, like, more action, adventure, RPG elements of Breath of the Wild
Like,
and going
they
back
would
to traditional? Or trying to find a
still
hybrid?
incorporating that. Yeah, do a hybrid.
I'd like to see
So
what
would
it would
magic
look
replace,
like.
the stamina meter?
Yeah, it would be like a separate, maybe a separate stamina meter, or like something that he could refill.
I
by
could
killing
see
enemies
that.
or something like that.
I could see that. Like, that's... I can see that being a way they go about doing it. I'd like to see just any implementation of it, because... I mean, I'm into
like,
it.
in the
I'd like
trailer,
to see
they
it.
have like the arm, right? One of the things about the reveal trailer is the arm, and that's like the. So I imagine that there's something with that, right?
Yeah, all the kind of point, though, is that all that sci-fi tech, though, that it's like kind of a part of it with the runes, that's also kind of magic-y anyway. Like, you could
That's
just
true.
make bombs
It is.
apparate
It is.
out of, like, nothing. So I feel like they'd go into the room element and more of, instead of, like, a traditional magic meter, because it's not so much of, like, magical spells like a fireball in D&D, as much as, like, more of the same kind of runes that we're used to in this Breath of the Wild, like, canon.
I can see them with
that
runes.
would give a very unexpected explanation as to why corpses just seem to be awakening all of a sudden. And now that I think about it, PushDustIn, I think you're actually going to give me nightmares, because now that we're on the discussion of Zelda and corpses and them reanimating, I can't help but think of
Re-deads.
I was about to say, does
and
this mean we're seeing
now-
dead hands and redeads again?
No.
But it goes even further, because now that we have the rumors of a Switch Pro, right?
Oh,
then there
God.
comes the possibility of making them 4K capable, and
Ray
nothing
tracing
scares me more
zombies!
than RTX 4K 60 frames like bananas graphics redeads.
I mean, it could be worse.
Oh
it could
my
be
God.
like VR redeads.
Oh, that would be worse.
That's
That would
terrible.
be worse.
All
Also,
right.
just make them dance like Majora's Mask. That's all I ask. That's it. That's the send tweet. That's it.
Show
That's
me
all
your
I want.
moves.
Listen, I've got a dance degree. That's all I'm useful for. Let me analyze it and let me make a video and let me talk about it. That's all I want. Thank you for my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my
You're
TED
welcome.
Talk.
All right, so now that we've gotten all of our initial thoughts on games we know about out of the way, I'm assuming we're all comfortable with moving on to the next part of the show, where we transition into Jazz Hands predictions.
Whoa.
So we're going to go ahead and start by going around the table and naming off something that we don't necessarily know about 100% yet, but still think is pretty likely. We'll call this section our, I'm doing bunny quotes, realistic predictions, if you will. And Sam, why don't you go ahead and start us off here?
Ooh, okay. So I'll just give one. I have like a billion in my head, but I'm going to say Prime Trilogy HD. I think it's more likely that we'll see the Metroid Prime Trilogy. First of all, it's something that I have been predicting every E3 for the past, since the Switch launched. But I think we're getting to the point where it might be more likely to happen, because I also think they're not going to release that until we're a little bit closer to Prime 4. Not necessarily like within earshot of it launching, but close enough that people don't play it and then lose interest completely in Metroid again. I think maybe, perhaps, this will be the year that all the first 3 Prime games get ported.
So, follow-up question. If it's a trilogy, would you be giving Other M the Galaxy 2 treatment and just not including it?
Yes.
Or... Okay.
Wow.
I love how that was just a firm yes,
Just
absolutely.
Not
Get
even
it out.
any hesitation. Just yes. Next question.
Well, so the Prime trilogy on the Wii was perfect. So like, just take that and.
I mean, it's also
just-
a different studio.
I mean,
like,
if
it's
you could
fine.
use your Joy-Cons too, even cooler.
I have
So,
a counterpoint.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so the programmer for Prime 3, I think they went out on Twitter recently, and they said that, with Metroid Prime 3, it was developed around motion controls. And I know, like, Skyward Sword, we're seeing that re-released and everything like that. Do you think, like, they would want to, like, separate them a little bit and try to focus?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they, in a perfect world, in Nintendo's perfect world, they would
Yeah.
actually probably do it separately, like each of the 3 games separately. Maybe like $40 titles or eShop only titles or something like that.
They'll still charge $60.
They're not gonna do that. We all know that. We all know that's exactly what they're gonna do. They'll do split for 60.
Yeah.
God.
But in my perfect world, they're all
Yes.
going to be together on one game.
I guess this is sort of a moot point because Sam doesn't want it, but I've never played the Metroid, like, 1 through 3, and I was under the impression that Other M, while it's, like, mixed critically and amongst fans as well, that it was still considered a part of Samus's story. Is that not the case?
I can't answer that because I never played it.
Amanda, get Elias on the line. Get Elias on the line.
See, I should know
Alright.
this, seeing as I'm with Shine Sparkers also. But I honestly, it is part of Samus's story, but I just don't know if it's like in the same.
I think the short
universe
answer is that
as
it is.
Metroid 3. You know how like there's a million different links. I don't know what the situation is with Samus, and I'm losing all of my gamer cred right now, but that's okay because I've got my picture that says I'm a gamer according to the
I was about to say that.
If I may, I don't really play Metroid games either. I've tried to get into them many times and just couldn't. I'm still willing to give Metroid Prime 4 a chance. Anyway, my understanding is that all Metroid games are canonical. There is a Metroid timeline. The only one that I guess wouldn't be canonical is Metroid Prime Pinball. Aside
you
from
mean?
that, all
Oh,
the main
man.
items
you-
are
what-
Pinball's totally.
What do you
in it.
mean it's not
That is the
canon?
pivotal part in her character development,
You think
sir.
you hold
you think
your
there's a
tongue.
space bounty hunter who goes out of her way to save people from planets, and anything she can't save, she blows up. And then sometime during her life, she was like, "Oh man, that pinball portion of my life, that was a weird time." I remember that. I just got done fighting Ridley, and then I got turned into a ball permanently for like 3 months. It was weird. I don't think that happened,
Totally happened.
but there is a timeline.
Yeah, I think
That's
you're
what I was
right. I
trying
think
to
like
Okay.
it even extends to like manga, like that they released and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
I'm looking at a timeline now, and it looks like it goes Prime Hunters, Prime 2, Prime 3, and then Metroid 2, Super Metroid, and then Other M. Therefore, let's just assume Prime 4 would be between Prime 3 and Metroid 2, so you don't need to care about Other M. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean,
I can't have
help
any
but
idea
feel
if
like
that's
Sam
accurate.
is just trying to justify not having played it and also not including it.
It's fine.
And it's working. I can't. You know what? I can't argue with that.
I
It's
actually
fine.
have a legitimate answer from our Metroid expert Elias. I'm about to put it into
Okay.
into the Discord, but basically, while there's like no major connection with like Metroid Prime, there are like some major connections for to other games.
Okay.
So technically, it is important. Elias Thompson has spoken.
Okay. So some, but not a whole lot to do with the first three.
I mean,
I
yeah.
guess that's what I'm driving from it.
I'm guessing you
Maybe
can get
someone
it if
listening will check
Nintendo,
this out.
especially if Nintendo ends up releasing Prime 4 without the trilogy, then there has to be the intention that people can get into it without playing the other ones.
I feel
Because
like that's something
they
wouldn't
must
do, though.
want sales to exceed what the other games have.
At the same time, I can feel like they'd be like, yeah, so this is what Metroid Prime 4 is looking like, but that's still a long ways away. So to hold you over, here you go. I feel like is a better like PR move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah.
them doing that, and then the conspiracy theory would be they purposely aren't marketing it because they want Metroid to die. That's what the anti.
Yeah.
Also, how many
Yeah.
times have we heard rumors of this trilogy being ready to go out on Switch at any point? Like 4 different ones of the last
I've heard that
2
for
years?
Yeah.
Me too.
Like as
yeah.
long as the Switch has come out of base, basically.
Yeah, that's how long I've been predicting it for E3, and yet here we are, predicting it once again.
Here we are.
We're part of the
Give
problem.
it up for day 13.
I'm gonna keep doing it until it happens. I was
Day
predicting Banjo-Kazooie for
25.
Smash,
Oh my god.
and it happened. It manifested into reality. So
So are you saying if this happens, I'm just gonna DM you and be like, "What have you done?"
yes,
All right.
Okay, so Sam is out here thinking Metroid, trilogy. That would be cool. That would give me an excuse to actually play them and, get into the series more. I guess we'll just go on to Amanda here as well.
All right. Well, I definitely want a Metroid trilogy, but I think my most realistic prediction is a Zelda collection that has Ocarina, at least has Ocarina on there. I'd like to have Majora's Mask on the collection also, because they're really big on generations playing together right now, and I feel like that would be a good way they could really capitalize on the whole hey, this is the game I grew up with and now my kid gets to play it, and then we get to enjoy Breath of the Wild together, so they can really jump in on all that.
Here's my question: what version of Majora's Mask though? Because N64 and 3DS are 2 totally different versions of Majora.
They're not that different, are they?
Yeah.
They are,
I think they are.
a lot in terms of their mechanics because of swimming and other quest stuff that they've added to 3DS. Some of them I
True.
think
I
are
mean,
good, and some of
probably.
them I think are why? I know why, but also still why.
I mean, honestly, I'm indifferent. I don't really care which version.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
So yours would be Majora, Ocarina of Time, and then what for the trilogy?
I don't know if I would put. It would make
me
sense if
Twilight
you went
Princess,
that
please.
direction to go with Twilight Princess. I feel like just because it would go, it would fit the theme more. I love Wind Waker, I really do, and that and Twilight Princess both got remakes on the Wii U, so either one of them would be good. But I think if we did a Mario, or I just seriously just said Mario, a Zelda trilogy, it would make the most. I could definitely see it being Ocarina and Majora and Twilight Princess. I could see those 3 together. I would
That would
think,
be
because
all the child's timeline too.
yeah, and then put I don't know, Wind Waker with some. We don't have to include Spirit Tracks, but with some other games.
What, you don't like Zelda
Phantom
with
Hourglass,
trains?
I don't know.
No.
But why?
Phantom
Not at
Hourglass
all.
is better than Spirit Tracks. I said
I
it.
wouldn't. No, I never played those games because DS controls are trash.
I played it on the Wii U, and it was the worst thing ever. And
Wii U emulation
yeah.
is just not good. We can all agree on that. It's not.
True.
It's not perfect, that's for sure.
There's some parts of it that were better than the Wii, but yeah, like because with the Wii, like they edited a lot of older games to like fit them with the modern era, and then with the Wii U, they're kind of like, okay, let's actually just release the ROMs normally, like untouch them. So I felt like it was like a step up in some ways, but then also like
that worked.
But
That's what
they're
I loved about the eShop is it was just the games, but some of the the controls did not like
yeah.
The
match up, and it
emulation
was
of
overly
it
sensitive.
was the
That was the
problem.
problem.
The Ocarina specific Wii U port is
Well, it was just the
atrocious.
sensitivity of the controls was way higher than that on the N64 controller.
yeah, it's not
I
it's not
never
pleasant.
played it on the Wii.
The
Don't-
Ocarina
I
one
couldn't
is
do
like
it.
infamous
I got
for
mad and
being
threw
bad.
it. It's very rare that I get mad and throw things. That was one. In my defense, I was severely dehydrated, so I wasn't really focusing well.
Could have had something to do with it. And it's interesting that you say that because back when we were talking about the direct in like February, I think, I was talking about how I was a little lukewarm on Zelda 35 as a whole because it felt like, yeah, it's cool to hear about Breath of the Wild 2, but we already knew about that, so it didn't really feel like a part of Zelda 35 to me. And outside of that, the only thing that we really got as like a, quote, celebration was Skyward Sword HD, which some people might consider to me to be ungrateful for, which I'm not insinuating that I'm not grateful for Skyward Sword HD. But if you're going to talk about Zelda's 35th anniversary, there's got to be a reason for it, and I feel like there's got to be more to it, right?
Yeah, that was actually. Can I expand on this idea real quick?
Please
Yeah,
do.
go for it.
One of the big things that I've been predicting for E3 is that this is going to be the kickoff of Zelda 35 they haven't been talking about. Because I don't think they're going to keep quiet after all the stuff I almost said a bad word. All the stuff they did for Mario 35. I think they have more in their sleeves than we've seen so far. And I think ports is one part of it. I think we're going to get Zelda stuff in Animal Crossing. I think we're going to get merch. Maybe not quite as big as Mario 35, but I think this is going to be the kickoff of something.
Well, especially
I
since
hope
they did
so.
like that survey to fans of like, how'd you feel about the Mario 35th anniversary? Okay, just
Wouldn't
get
you
a
like
feeling
some
for how
more?
you rate
Interested in Mario.
theirs.
Okay. Interesting.
Sus.
What were the questions on there?
I think my favorite though was like, how do you feel about Mario after the 35th
Yeah.
anniversary?
And one of the
Sad,
options. One of the
because
options was
he's
I
dead.
no longer feel. I no longer care about Mario.
I no longer
Like,
feel
Yeah.
because he is dead. Just turns into a Nintendo version of Clue. Figure out who
You
killed
have to
him.
figure out who killed Mario and how they did
no
it.
longer
And
care
it's just
for
Peach
Mario.
going, that's right, I did
such
it.
a good-
I killed Mario. I hated him so much. It's the flames on the side of my face. Clue? Anyone know?
Wait, Peach isn't Italian.
Not
Peach is a
not
princess.
even, but
Wait,
have you
Italians
not
can't be
seen
princess?
Clue?
Well, no. Well, I mean, I guess they could.
Have you not seen Clue? It's a great movie. It's free on YouTube. Go watch it.
Yeah, I have seen it with Tim
Tim
Curry.
Curry, Madeline
and if
Kahn.
I were you, I would have guessed it would have been Waluigi with the fire flower in the World 1-2, but I guess my prediction was wrong and it was Princess Peach all along. Never
Only
mind.
because I wanted someone that I could be Madeline Kahn with. That's all I had.
Oh, okay.
Go watch
Yeah.
Clue.
PushDustIn, what's your realistic prediction for E3?
So I think, well, I mean, obviously we'll get like a Smash character, and we can talk about that later. But yeah, I was thinking like Zelda 35th. It would be really cool to see like a top-down multiplayer Zelda, especially because like I think I said this the last time I was on here, but like have a game where you can use one Joy-Con, and then that way two people can play on one system, like locally. I think that would be
Ooh.
really, really cool.
They are sitting on 4
Getting
swords.
some Triforce Heroes vibes from this.
Yeah. So, re-release Four Swords, make it online multiplayer, or Triforce Hero, which is like one of my favorite Zelda games, and bring that back. I would be more excited for that than another Wind Waker or another Twilight Princess, because we just got those games on the Wii U.
Yeah, no, Triforce Heroes is really good.
Triforce Heroes would be a really good game for them to port to Switch because it came out a little bit late in the 3DS life, and I
And,
think
like,
it could go
regional
really well.
multiplayer- The regional multiplayer, like online multiplayer, kind of hampered it, and then like, I think it kind of underperformed compared to other Zelda titles.
Yeah, it did.
So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
could get another chance on the Switch. That's my
Yeah.
personal hope. It's not like a actual realistic prediction.
Yeah, I think in a previous conversation I said I wanted some sort of multiplayer Zelda game again too. But now I've kind of thrown that out because now it does seem like Breath of the Wild 2 is imminent at the very least. But we'll see.
Mhm.
But I would love, yeah, if they want to just port over Triforce Heroes, I'm okay with that. If they want to just do a new 3 or 4 player Zelda game sequel in general, I'm okay with that too. I just want more multiplayer Zelda because that's the type of Zelda that I personally prefer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think like Nintendo tries to release like a Zelda game every year. And so like if Breath of the Wild 2, if that does not come out this year, we'll probably get, I mean, we already have Skyward Sword, but we'll probably get like at least one more.
Well, that's a good one. Yoshiller, did you want to back off that, I guess?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think we're gonna get a Zelda 35th anniversary blowout.
Okay, dude.
I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be upset if we do. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think Mario got it because it also tied into the opening of Super Nintendo World. And no offense to Nintendo, but it was an easy way for them to fill the gap of 2020 while they worked on these bigger projects that we're now gonna see. So I don't think they used Mario as filler so that they could then use Zelda as filler. I think instead we are gonna see a lot of cool new stuff. That's where my optimism comes in. I think we're gonna see a lot of new announcements, and we know for a fact that Nintendo is working on a Kirby game. We don't exactly know what the Kirby game is. I theorize, because they said they wanted it to be like an evolution of Kirby, whatever it will be, I think it's going to have online multiplayer. I think Nintendo's getting more comfortable with that idea, as we saw with Super Mario 3D World. And they could either do something akin to Kirby in the Amazing Mirror, where it's like a big Kirby Metroidvania. Each person has his or her own screen, and you can like jump to another player's screen if you need to. It would take advantage of local multiplayer as well if you had 4 people around that just wanted to play together. Or they might finally do a 3D Kirby game. They experimented with the idea in Kirby Planet Robobot. It was a side game. So they might turn that type of thing into a full-fledged title. I don't think it's going to be a collectathon akin to Super Mario Odyssey. I think it would be more like Super Mario 3D World, where it is a 3D platformer, but your goal is just to get to the end of each level and maybe find 1 or 2 collectibles along the way. That's where my head is at.
I think there was like some data mining with the Kirby Fighter game that suggested that it might be 3D.
Oh. Yeah, Kirby Fighters 2
Yeah.
had 1 or 2 files that they couldn't be opened, or they opened to nothing. But they had the words 3D in them or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that. The other theoretical thing that I think we could see, we're probably not going to see a mainline Mario game, but we might see a different spin-off. I mean, I know we already have Mario Golf coming out, so that kind of gets in the way of my theory, but I think we could see maybe Mario Party or Super Mario Party 2, or maybe, I don't know about like Mario Kart DLC, but I don't know about Mario Kart 9, but I feel like we could see something similar to Mario Kart Live, just like a non-full Mario Kart game, but it's like not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't know, something like that. I feel it'd be weird for Mario to only have golf this year, you know? I mean, I think
Yeah.
Smash Ultimate's a lock, and I think Breath of the Wild 2 is probably a lock. So in terms of seeing things that have not been officially announced, that's kind of where my theories are in a realistic sense.
Maybe like a
anyway.
2D Mario game.
Yeah, I don't know if they
exists?
want to do. I mean,
The new Super
Mario Maker 2, I feel like was supposed to last them. I guess they could do another new Super Mario Brothers type of game. There's no reason why they couldn't. I don't know. It all comes down to what that team's working on. In theory, they've been rumored to be working on a Donkey Kong game, but I guess we can talk about that in a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, we can. No, that's interesting. And I think we're all kind of in collective agreement with you that Breath of the Wild 2 and Smash DLC, yeah, like obviously, like those are going to be stuff that we'll most likely 100% see. Interesting. So Kirby, that like,
Something Mario, something smaller Mario.
Kirby and something smaller Mario. Okay. You know, Kirby's one of those franchises that I always keep at the back of my mind, but I never think of when these conversations come up. So it's cool to have you here so you can mention that, remind me, like, oh yeah. Like,
Kirby's weird, right? Because like they perform well. It's appeared at E3 several times, and yet like it always just gets overshadowed by everything else.
Yeah, that poor little guy. Oh my god. Okay. Well, honestly, I haven't been keeping track of who hasn't gone and who has
I
gone.
think I'm the only one that hasn't gone yet.
You haven't spoken. Okay. So let's hear it.
Good, because you're gonna.
Oh my god.
At this point, I'm gonna bounce off what everyone said. Wii U HD ports of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Those games were on Wii U. They are currently like two of the three big Nintendo titles that have not made it to the Switch at this point from the Wii U.
Four if you count Star Fox Zero.
That's
Hey,
true.
man. Don't play with my heart like that.
4. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Important distinction. The other one is Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I'm just like, whatever. Anyway. But at this point, I feel like those are two slam dunks, and I'm just like, why aren't they on Switch? Because you've already ported it to an HD system. Just do it. Do it, Nintendo. Come on. I also think, and this might be slightly unrealistic, but it's also been 7 years, like as of what, Sunday, since we've had Mario Kart 8. I think it's time for a Mario Kart 9, Nintendo. Screw DLC, just make a new one.
We have 9. It's Tor.
Yeah, it is. And then we got Mario Kart 10 with Mario Kart Live. So really what you're asking for is Mario Kart Live.
Yeah.
Yes. The answer to that question is yes. I don't care what you call it. You could call it It's Always Sunny in Mario Kart. And I don't...
There you go.
Curb your Mario Kart. I don't know. Just give me a new one.
I like Always Sunny in Mario Kart. That sounds fun.
Sounds very cute.
Got a sunshine vibe to it. I
It's
like
just
it.
Danny DeVito at some point going, may I offer you a nice shell in this trying time?
He's one of the track obstacles, just stands in the middle somewhere.
You all of a sudden randomly...
Well, then you remove the courses for... You remove Luigi's Mansion because there's no sun there, and then you theoretically remove Waluigi Pinball because it's part casino, and you're not supposed to see the sun in a casino.
Except that...
All right, that's kind of a crime, actually.
Actually, no, that is a crime because Waluigi Pinball is the best track in Mario Kart. Objectively.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, I think I kind of agree
You
with
know,
you.
now that you brought Star Fox in, though, Yoshiller, I would love to see another Star Fox game. That would be great.
Me too.
Oh
my gosh, me
I
too.
do too. I love
Like-
Star Fox. Rather, I love the Star Fox IP. I want them to do more with it, but I feel bad that it's had such a rough history as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree. I feel like Breath of the Wild 2 is on lock. I have Smash is kind of a given because we've got, what, 2 characters left?
Yep, only 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 more.
So I'm assuming that's going to be a thing. For the most part, I feel like most of the ones that are realistic are ones that were already sort of mentioned. I feel like I kind of agree with the sentiment of Zelda 35th. If things are going to start happening, they're going to start happening now because now that Mario 35th is done, most of the big Pokemon major things we know about at this point and are done, we can now focus on Zelda, and I feel like that could be a big thing moving forward. So I am going to sort of maintain that I think Zelda 35th will still become a larger thing. My wallet will hate it, but I'm going to do it. I'm excited for it if it happens. But for the most part, I feel like there's nothing else overly exciting that it's just like that I feel like would be a realistic appearance aside from the stuff that we kind of already sort of know.
I think Mario Kart is tricky because they're still making so much money off of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And if there's a Mario Kart 9, who's going to buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? But let me put a thought in your minds. Mario Kart Maker.
That's a lot of effort. Counterpoint to Mario Kart 8's also the most successful game on the Switch. I don't think
It still sells.
And I know it still sells because it's also the only Mario Kart game on Switch, as that's one that you don't need to buy $100 worth of equipment. That's like toys, twice to do with other people.
Well,
you could.
that's why, I mean, you've probably seen this point of conversation go around. That's why a lot of people thought there would be something called Nintendo Kart, so it doesn't compete with the Mario Kart brand. It's a separate kart racer. It probably plays exactly like Mario Kart, but it's just the idea that the name being different means you could have Mario Kart, and Mario Kart could still sell, but a sequel wouldn't eat future
Yeah. Like
sales.
Diddy Kong
It would still
Racing.
be its
But
own
the
separate
problem
thing.
is,
Yeah, exactly.
my
like
only
Diddy Kong
issue with
Racing.
that too is that like at this point I feel like we've gone through the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stuff when Mario Kart 9 can easily just take that top spot from Mario Kart 8 anyway. Like, we remember Animal Crossing hit second place in the Switch sales data in under a year, and is
It's true, but it's not really fair to bring up Animal Crossing as comparison because Animal Crossing is like an anomaly in any sort of gaming statistic you're ever going to have. It was the most perfectly right place at the right time type of game you're going to get.
Right.
And that isn't to say that it couldn't happen again, but I don't think it's going to happen again for a
I
very
also
long
feel like
time.
the year-over-year stuff of other games could also still lend itself into a addition of a game that was a sequel to something that technically came out in 2017, but really came out in 2014.
Yeah.
As much as we would all love to see another Mario Kart, and while Nintendo's Mario Kart development team is probably interested in making another mainline Mario Kart game too, I don't think they just want Mario Kart Tour to be their
Please
future.
no.
Mario Kart 9, if it's gonna happen, I don't think they can call it Mario Kart 9. Like I think they have to step away from the number, just so that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe can continue to sell, and they can have another kart racer. I think that's all they really need to do.
Mario Kart
They need to
Evolutions.
bring back F-Zero.
That's actually what they do
yeah.
need to do. Like, not as a joke.
Yeah.
Not as a joke. They actually should bring back F-Zero, especially if they really hone in on the online aspect.
Agreed.
That's really
They
what'll
just
separate it
people
from
were
Mario Kart.
like, I thought they were saying too. It's just like, well, we don't know what direction to take the series, and everyone's just like, forward. Hello, come on.
Well,
Well, like,
obviously, it's all
Nintendo's very
I have like a
particular.
long overdue. Yeah.
Like,
I have a long overdue video that I'm supposed to be working on. I basically just said the same thing as anyone else. It's obvious for all of us to say, well, we have ideas for F-Zero, but making an F-Zero game, I think, is a lot harder than a lot of us.
Oh, no,
think
it's-
it is.
well,
It's a lot harder.
I mean,
than
I
Mario
can't
Kart.
develop games,
Well,
so like,
Falco
makes
and
sense.
Star Fox joined F-Zero at the end of Assault, so that's the direction they could
At-
go.
That's a
is
command.
At the end of
true.
Command.
Command, that's
Yeah,
it.
and
Sorry, I get those two confused.
It's okay. It's a non-canonical ending. It's an optional ending.
Yeah. I work for the studio that made Command, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm actually one of
Oh.
the few people that likes it.
I love
I love
Command.
Command. I just wish that they brought back online multiplayer Star Fox like was in that game because I only got to play that twice.
At
And
PushDustIn, I wish
it's
they
gone.
would bring back online for Command in an updated version. That'd be cool, right?
That would be cool.
Yeah, Push. I really loved online multiplayer. with
Push
Star
is just
Fox.
like,
you know what I'm saying?
God. I mean,
I gotta go.
I don't want to bash your company or Star Fox. Historically, Star Fox has not done too well.
I think it would be cool to see stuff like that because I think now that we're seeing like the Rogue Squadron like kind of game kind of come back, I could see it maybe working more with just like maybe now that Nintendo's seen how like Star Wars Squadrons went, Star Fox like that, maybe.
All I was gonna say was, Push, I think you're right about F-Zero. I think I realize now that I completely cut you off from what you wanted to say because I
that's
think
okay.
you wanted to talk more about F-Zero.
I'll just say
Okay.
that Nintendo's very, very particular, and like I know it's very easy on the outside to be like, well, why don't you just do more? But like Nintendo, they try to make games around like a new idea, so like something that like particularly inspires them, and they'll try out lots of different things, and if they feel like it's not innovative enough, they might just drop the project completely. So whenever they do a sequel, they try to do new things, something new, something that's exciting for the developers.
That explains a lot about their process, which is why like Star Fox Zero was what it was, because Nintendo is a company that like they always try to find a way to one up the last thing that they do, and like I understand the drive for innovation, but innovation doesn't have to always be the goal. I get why they do it. I wonder whether or not that's always the best choice. Because
there's definitely places where they had missteps, like Hey Pikmin for the 3DS.
I'll argue Miitopia is one of those choices as well.
Well, what I was going to say was if there was ever a time for them, for any company, whether it's Q Games or just Nintendo in-house, if there was ever a time for them to try Star Fox again, it's now with the Switch and the bigger install base.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
I just think the Star Fox IP, it's such a sad history because you could really tell Nintendo went all in trying to market Star Fox Zero, and they got these Muppets, and they got...
Oh my god, the Muppets were fantastic.
They had like a big...
Yes.
They were.
They got this big display at E3 where you actually got to sit inside of an R-Wing.
I remember that.
And they had a bunch of commercials, and they had that anime, that 10-minute short or whatever made by the people who did Attack on Titan.
Jim Henson.
And you could really
Oh,
tell.
wait, that's who made that animated short? That was the Attack on Titan people?
I'm fairly confident, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They went all out. Like, Star Fox Zero was supposed to be the next big thing. And conceptually, you think it's cool because you're like, oh, Star Fox game for the Wii U. Yeah, and use the Wii U to aim and everything. That sounds so cool.
That mechanic hurt it.
And
That mechanic hurt it.
Yeah, and it's HD, and they got the old voice actors
so
back.
beautiful.
But then,
Like,
Oh my god, it was great
visually,
looking.
it was
It really
stunning.
It was
is.
great looking.
Yeah.
yeah, and it just, I don't even think it broke 1 million units. And it's so heartbreaking to see that. And I get why it didn't do well, and I unironically do want it on Switch because I do think it deserves
I
a
feel
second
like it would
chance.
do better on Switch
But I
if they
think-
get rid of that motion control mechanic. With like the R-Wing aiming.
But I think after Star Fox Zero and after Starlink with the Star Fox characters not selling so hot either, I think Star Fox is like on
Wait,
retirement.
hold on.
But
Was it...
what's up?
Did the Switch version of Starlink go bad now because of Star Fox or because it was Starlink that like I completely forgot was even a game until you just brought it up because it was just the most generic thing aside from Star Fox?
Well, let's be clear. It didn't do bad because of Star Fox, but Star Fox didn't help it either.
No, because Star Fox can only do so much. It's not a miracle worker, Yoshiller.
So, but that's my point. Is that Nintendo clearly wanted Star Fox to be among the IPs of Mario, Zelda, and nowadays Splatoon, but it didn't have the legs to stand on. F-Zero was supposed to be that back in the Super Nintendo days, and once again, I think if there was a chance for F-Zero to get a new chance to shine, it really is now. And I unironically would love a new F-Zero. I don't think we're gonna get it this E3, but I don't think it's completely out of the question either that we might see it in
I
a year
agree
or
with
two.
that.
Yeah, I think it could be eventually
I think-
something that could happen.
I think the thing is, especially when it comes to racing games right now, you've got Mario Kart, you've got Forza, you've got Gran Turismo when Sony decides to finally bring that back from the dead next year, I guess. But like then there's Burnout, which it's now not isn't really a thing, and then Need for Speed. That's like 5 or 6 games
Yeah,
that
but
are just all racing, and most of them are very traditional kind of racing stuff. F-Zero is one that would break the mold.
What?
Yeah, I don't think having other games in the genre is a deal breaker because even Nintendo has Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby,
I'm not
and
even-
a fair share of other games that are all
I'm not even
side-scrollers.
saying it's that.
Yoshi,
It's
Wario.
more of a, what do all these games do that F-Zero can stand out on in terms of a different appeal, different like stuff? Because Forza and Gran Turismo go more realism, and then there's like the street racing side for like Need for Speed, Mario Kart's Mario Kart. F-Zero is space and like high speed.
Yeah, it's like more arcadey and like it has
Yeah.
that style. But like one issue that I forgot to bring up is that Takaya Imamura, he's the like the guy who originally designed F-Zero and we also worked on Star Fox. He recently left Nintendo.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Oh, I heard
so
about that. Yeah.
he's now freelance. He's doing columns in Nintendo Dream now, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
But
That's cool.
it's because of that, maybe F-Zero or Star Fox won't be worked on for a bit. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Does he own the characters?
No,
or
no,
was
he doesn't
just,
own
like,
the characters, but
Okay.
Nintendo's also very
Alright.
weird about like, well, not weird, but like very
Respecting.
respecting of creators and stuff like that, and so it can take some time for Nintendo to like kind of be like, okay, now we can work on this project. or they'll work with Imura behind the scenes or something to get his blessing. I have no idea what they're working on, so.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
I get that. I mean, you're right. I'm going to refer to this as a Donkey Kong scenario.
Yeah.
It's going to be an IP that Nintendo's not going to know what to do with for a few years. And then after a few years go by, they'll be like, okay, now we're comfortable just working on whatever with this character or IP again.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can vibe with that.
But I hope F-Zero and Star Fox comes back soon, because I would love to see those. And they definitely deserve
Me
another
too.
shot.
And you want to know something? I think I'm the only one that hasn't given their like prediction for this section yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think, host of the show?
Okay. So I'm just gonna say my piece because I know that there's been some points in this part where there's been some agreements and some disagreements amongst us already.
Are you gonna say
So I'm just
something
gonna
to
say
make
my
us all
piece
really
and then
mad?
I'm just gonna say it.
Do it, you
I
won't.
don't think Zelda 35
Do
is
what you
gonna
won't.
happen.
Be a new side of Sam that we've never seen before. Okay. So for me, I think outside of the obvious, like the next Smash Fighter, which we've talked about before, and I would still love to see Shantae in the game. Sakurai, please tell me she's in your secret drawer.
John Master Chief win.
Well, of course Shantae's in the drawer. It's right next to the Mr. Driller toy that he has that he's currently using to
Exactly.
design the
Mr.
other
Driller.
character.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
Mr. Driller, the Namco rep we're going to see at E3. Are you not familiar with this character? Because you might want to get caught up on him so you
Yeah.
can realize
No,
who he
I
is.
am not.
Come on,
Enlighten-
some podcast lore.
He's the next Smash character. Sakurai will tell you all about it. at
Oh, okay,
E3.
okay. Right after you announce it's John Master Chief. Got it.
You got it.
But I think outside of that, the thing that I envision coming to E3, maybe I'm gonna preface this by saying maybe not this year, but hopefully sometime soon, is a brand new Star Fox game. Weirdly enough, it's been 5 years since the last game for Star Fox, since the last time we saw it.
God.
Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but Alec, we did get some Star Fox content in Starlink Battle for Wrong. Okay, it's not the same.
It's also not a Nintendo game.
I'm
It's a
in love-
Ubisoft game.
Exactly, it's not the same. But I'm in love with the aesthetics for Star Fox. I love space. I love the character designs mostly, and the music is it's so good. I remember getting in line to demo Zero at E3 2015, and hearing the music at Nintendo's booth was such a trip.
Yeah.
I can't remember which song it was exactly, but I do remember hearing it and just loving how big, booming, and bombastic it sounded, and it really just got me in the mood. Plus, those giant R-Wing stations that we've talked about before. Loved them.
Cool.
Those were amazing.
We've gotten like the
but
R-Wing pins.
I think,
Ugh.
Yep.
it would be so cool for them to bring that like little R-Wing, sit-down setup to like an arcade or something. Kind of like how they
Like,
have
epi-
Luigi's
sitting
like
in their
episode
warehouse.
1 Racer, I'm
They're
down.
sitting in the warehouse.
Exactly. Like, they've got like Luigi's Mansion and Mario Kart, obviously. But anyway, Anyway, I think the Star Fox series could definitely use a revival of sorts because after Zero, it sort of does feel like the fan base for it is a bit fragmented in a way. So having another big game to rally behind would really just do my Star Fox loving heart some good. So I would love to see a new Star Fox game, remaster, remake, whatever. Just some more stuff to get excited about for that series would be awesome.
Star Fox 64 HD
So.
win.
God, speaking of games that have been remastered more than once, I don't
Would you
even know.
buy
That
it?
one's-
Yes,
that
you
would be like
would.
the third or
Don't
fourth
lie to
time.
me,
I mean,
Alec.
I would. That's the thing. God, I so would.
We complain about it, but are we gonna
Man.
buy them? Yes, we are.
But you know what? You know what would get me even more excited? Because I've played Star Fox 64 so many times in the past. I would, for no reason in particular, I bring this up again. I would really love to see a remastered HD version of Star Fox Command, right? So if anybody out there that maybe works at the studio responsible or knows anybody there, just pass that along
Like,
somehow.
Oh, God. I'd also love to
Let me,
see.
just put some calls in.
I'd love to also see Adventures, but I know the legality of that because Rare is technically Microsoft now. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's still made with a Nintendo IP. It's the same equivalent of Nintendo licensing out, Star Fox Zero to Platinum Games. They still own the IP. It's just Platinum gets like a
So, like,
royalty or
Microsoft
something.
and Rare
Nintendo
get a little
re-released
kickback.
Donkey Kong 64. Like,
Oh, that's actually a perfect
Oh,
point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Nintendo
true,
has.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they own Star Fox Adventure.
All right. Does anybody want to throw out any realistic ones before we get into the big kahuna?
Mine's borderline realistic, just because it's like, okay, so Nintendo recently they had a survey where they asked people like, would you buy a WarioWare game for like $50?
Oh yeah,
And-
that
so-
report
Oh,
that
yeah.
just came through.
Mhm.
So I do believe that it's due time for a new WarioWare game, and I'm excited.
I love WarioWare.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's intelligent systems, and the last major thing we saw them work on was Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Mhm.
So I guess I don't know that they alternate, but it seems like they Oh, that's not true. They worked with people.
Yeah,
on
I
Origami
was.
King. Okay, sorry,
yeah,
my
I was
mind's all
about
over
to
the
say,
place.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay, my mind's all over the place, but I think they tend to alternate, and I would love anything Wario Land, WarioWare with a focus on local multiplayer, WarioWare with a focus on DIY stuff. I don't
Yeah.
care. I just love
WarioWare
Wario.
As long as it's
DIY
not
on the
gay.
I
Switch
don't
would be
think you're the only
great.
one that loves Wario in this room.
Yeah, WarioWare
WarioWare
DIY.
99.
Oh my god,
That's what I'm waiting on.
Sam, we're on to
I don't
something.
think you could. I don't think you could get 99 on one screen, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it
WarioWare
doesn't
20.
matter. It doesn't
mean-
matter because it's like
Okay,
it's
because
you
it's-
have, or the main screen. You just only need to see a little bit of
Well,
everyone
right.
else's.
I guess you don't have to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
No, that's the perfect game where you want to see what everyone else is doing, because then you're all on the same micro game at the same time.
Oh,
you got 5
yeah.
seconds, and then it goes to the transition screen, and you just see like 20 X's show up on the side of your screen, so you
Oh,
see how many people
yeah.
fail the micro game.
It'd be fun. Just saying.
Whoever
I'd
fails
want
is a
it.
nose-picking mini
Oh
game.
my god, I hated that one.
I hate
Honestly,
that
I'd
one
love,
too.
I'd
It's so
love,
gross.
I'd love a WarioWare game that's like smooth moves and all that stuff that utilize the Joy-Con that way. Just like one that could do like a bit of everything and then has the DIY stuff in it. That would be great. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
It would be awesome.
So it's-
I just want Wario anything. Maybe that's why they're asking, like, would you spend $60 on anything WarioWare? And I'm like, yes.
How much effort do we
I
need to
would.
put into
I
this?
kind of want to know
None.
what prompted that survey to go out this close to E3 anyway.
Right. Like,
Not
is
sure.
it that
I
they're
don't know if
thinking
they're
about
related, though.
starting something, or is it that they have something and they can't decide how to price it? Like,
That
could
seems like it
go
could be
either way.
accurate. That latter part would be accurate, I feel like.
would be
If
good.
it is WarioWare 99, I could see them saying, is it worth selling this for $60?
Well, no, because
But-
all the 99 stuff's been free.
That's not true. You can get a full version of Tetris 99 and a full version of Pac-Man
Yeah,
99.
but you
But Tetris
get
99
Switch
comes
Online
with the
included.
Nintendo Switch on.
some
Yeah.
counterpoint
The DLC.
So that maybe that's why they're asking.
and like the 10
Yeah.
DLC that's not the same thing though because you can just download the game for free.
You know, I'm probably not helping the crowd that seems to think that every Nintendo game is overpriced and they should offer it at $5, but I would pay $50 for a WarioWare
I mean, I
game.
would too. I
I
would
would-
pay $50 for a WarioWare. I'd pay 60.
I would
Go ahead.
also pay
Yeah, I
60.
would too. I do love WarioWare. I bought Game and Wario. Like I love Wario. I don't care what anyone says. I'll
That's
buy
your
it.
benchmark. I bought Game and Wario.
Although that's
I
actually
got
not a
Game
great
Wario for
example
free.
because Nintendo only sold Game and Wario for 30. So really, what I'm saying is, I'll still buy Wario whatever at 60. I'll buy Game and Wario twice. Let's do it.
Do it, you
Oh,
won't.
wow. Big baller.
Oh, you think I won't, huh? Is that
Yeah,
a challenge?
I won't. What you gonna do about it?
I'll buy it twice. And I'll be like, well,
At-
joke's on you. I got WarioWare
Good,
twice.
at me on it.
Okay, you
mean-
got it.
Yeah. That's a good one, PushDustIn. I didn't even think about that. I remember that survey coming out.
Because
but
that was
I didn't
what
think to bring that up in
Wednesday
this
when that
discussion.
report came through.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. So
Something- yeah,
everyone
it's a
was
couple days.
distracted with Switch Pro, I think.
As they are literally every week. How many weeks in the,
Every day.
have we gone without a Switch Pro like rumor? None in the last like month.
It's gonna,
Well,
it's
when
gonna
it-
be
when it
tomorrow
does-
for sure.
Saturday. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have one more realistic prediction.
All right, let's hear it.
And this is something that I talked about on this very podcast. I don't know how long ago, a couple months ago. I thought we were going to get an Animal Crossing 2.0 update for the 1 year launch.
Oh yeah.
Did we not
for
get one?
March. We still haven't.
Nope. we
Oh.
did not.
But I still think it's coming with Brewster and maybe an upgraded shop, maybe some other stuff. I think we're going to get another
Link,
update
Wolf, Link,
that we
Wolf.
haven't
Yeah, we need Brewster.
seen.
I really want Bruce.
What are
I
you-
mean, I've got his plushie.
Yeah.
like,
They're still making
selling
them, so.
at Target.
Wolf Link as the villager.
Yeah, Wolf
That's
Link
all
would
I
also
want.
be nice.
That would be so much.
That's how I'm getting back into
You know-
Animal Crossing again. It's been like a year, really, but like Wolf Link, I'm in. Another 6 months.
Well, maybe
Let's go.
Zelda 35.
Zelda 35.
Get the amiibo to work
No.
again. Do a reprint of the amiibo. Here we go.
There you go.
Why not?
It can
Yep. I've got
double.
bad news
for you.
You have to get Twilight Princess on the Switch in order for it to copy over to Animal Crossing. So in order to get the Wolf Link in Animal Crossing, you have to get
Wow.
it. I
see
could
that.
totally see them doing that.
Well, I mean, they did it
Get
with the
all the
Loft
Animal
Wing.
Crossing players to get into Zelda.
I mean,
Do it.
yes.
I mean, I'm gonna get both no matter what, so it doesn't matter.
I
to
am
me.
too.
yes, correct.
Nintendo just has to slap the word Zelda on something and I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, speaking of Animal Crossing again, I've got to wonder, like, what is their plan with that game moving forward? Because we're all still waiting for some of the big updates to bring us back. Obviously, like Brewster and like a couple of other things that New Leaf had, and we haven't really gotten them.
I'm presuming we'll get a
Yeah.
quality of
I'm-
life
I'm just
update. I'm
curious.
assuming a quality of life update will show up at E3, being like, "Hey, thank you for playing for the last year. Here's what we've been working on. Here's some stuff. Here are some updates." Because now that we've hit the full year, a lot of the events are gonna start repeating. So wedding season, I think, is now.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
I think it's
isn't
now.
it? Is it
Yeah.
now?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah.
with New Leaf, they also saw a re-release or like an updated version
Yeah.
on the
Yes,
3DS.
it
So
did.
it's not
Yep.
out of the question.
They did.
But that also came
Oh, it was like
3
Welcome
years
Amiibo,
after
I
the
think.
fact, because that came out in 2016.
Yeah, it came out late.
Yeah. They could still update it. I mean, Super Mario Party kind of proved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we
Games
talk
can still
about
be
that
given
real
new
quick?
life.
Why did that come 2 years late?
I don't know, but
I
it
know.
Why 2 years late? I have
It
no
shot-
idea. But I'm glad they
shot
did
down
it.
the possibility of there being a new, better Super Mario Party. So,
I feel
Well,
like
maybe.
that was just like done like when they were developing whatever the next Mario Party is. Like they were like, oh, well, we got
Maybe.
online to work in this older game.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just-
my theory.
Yeah,
So
that's
let's
why.
pack it
I
into
like
here
that
so that we can
theory
have it
better.
together.
Like they added like I don't want to. This isn't meant to like slam game developers, but I feel like they were gonna start making Mario Party 2. Then they looked at Mario Party 1, started copy pasting over assets, and they're like, you know what? If we just need to implement online anyway, why don't we just copy and paste the online stuff into Mario Party 1 and then copy paste that code over?
Like gamers are always like, oh yeah, like I hate it when games reuse assets, but like 99% of games reuse assets.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just
It's just
modules.
like how you do game development. Like why reinvent the wheel every time?
I mean,
like
if
it
you're
doesn't
using the
make
same
your
models,
game
why not?
inherently better. Yeah,
No,
like
that's
you might as well
preposterous,
use that as a base.
People got mad at Pokemon Sword and Shield for reusing assets, and I'm like, have you played any Pokemon game
Yeah, exactly.
Generation 3 onward?
Like why would they redo everything from scratch? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's too much production time.
So,
Yeah.
this is like the one time where I feel that them doing that doesn't take away from there being a sequel. I think it actually adds fuel to the fire of there
Yeah.
possibly being a sequel.
Because
But I don't know.
any Super Mario Party 2 or whatever, like that would just build on the base, but it'd also be different maps, different characters, and everything like that.
Yeah, that's
so it'd
true.
be a different experience. So I don't think that adding online to Super Mario Party 1 detracts from Super Mario Party 2.
I really hope, though, if they actually go with a sequel to Super Mario Party, that we actually get fully integrated online like it really should have had since the beginning. Because that's
Yeah.
the great thing about having Mario Party where you can play online is I can be where I am and Amanda can be where she is, and we can play Mario Party together in a board. And that's kind of what everyone wanted Mario Party to be. And I'm glad that we're finally getting it in Super Mario Party, and I hope they do that plus more now that they figured out how to make stable online servers with like Monster Hunter Rise and 3D World.
Yeah, and also the online for Super Mario Party 1 is not the full game. Isn't it limited to like a couple of boards and a couple of games?
Well, it was just
Yeah, it's most
it
of the
was
game.
just
Okay, it's
mini
most
games
of them.
before, so
It's-
now I think it's all boards. I haven't tried it yet, but
Yeah, I'm sure people have done videos on it. There's like one or two things you can't do, but for the most part, the game functions online like you think it would.
Okay.
You got access to the boards, the different modes, and most of the mini games. I think the reason one or two things don't work is because they actually require like 2 people to be in the same room or something. But I
Yeah.
don't remember the full.
I think
You have
some
to
of them
literally
are
have 2
tabletop
Switch
mode.
devices.
Yeah, some of it is
Yeah.
like you need 2 units entirely.
All right. I think that puts to rest all of our realistic predictions, which means, lastly, before we sign off, we'll move on to our last section of the podcast, that being our dream predictions. Woo! Okay, so this is the part of the show where we throw all of our expectations, reasoning, and all those silly things out the window and think to ourselves, in a perfect world, what would be the one thing I would want to see from this Nintendo Direct? What's the one thing that I would want to make happen if I were in charge of things around Nintendo? And to start us off, Yoshiller, what's your dream announcement?
Oh, dearie. Well, I don't think it's too unrealistic to guess. I really would love to see another Punch-Out game in the style of the Wii game.
You were
And
talking about that earlier, right?
Before,
we went up.
before.
Yeah.
There's actually a joke I've had with my friends how every Punch-Out game is either called Punch-Out or Super Punch-Out. So the next one has to be called Super Punch-Out, especially if this new Nintendo Switch is called a Super Nintendo Switch. I'm like, then it has to be called Super Punch-Out. So
course.
I like if I think it'd be fun. It doesn't need anything too far beyond the Wii game. Just, a dozen or so boxers to fight. You want to have another cameo character, I don't know. You can do Donkey Kong again, or you can do Cranky Kong and he fights you with the cane. I don't know.
Yes, I want to play that.
Please.
I'd buy it.
I'd be down for that. And I now that Nintendo owns Next Level Games, everyone thinks they're going to work on Mario Strikers and Luigi's Mansion, and I'm like, but I want Punch-Out! I want Punch-Out! The other guess, if I had to pick something, I mean, we talked about F-Zero earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just would love to see them do a game, even if it's not this big, grandiose thing that we would all love F-Zero to be. Just even if they make something serviceable, I think that's just good.
F-Zero GX
I think that's
with
just a
online.
fun...
That's all I want.
I'm okay with that. I am. Even if it's not 30-player online, like if it's just 4-player online, but 26 CPUs, I'm okay with that too.
He will
Like,
take
I
literally
just-
anything.
Yeah, just to know that, like, it's not like Nintendo doesn't care about F-Zero, but just to throw the fans a bone, I think that'd be cool. Like, if you're watching your Nintendo Direct presentation, you're like, oh, that was a cool Splatoon 3 trailer. Oh, that new Donkey Kong game looks nice. And then you just see the Blue Falcon. Like, I think a lot of people would just have such big smiles on their faces, and I think I'd be one of those people. So
Aw.
that's kind of where I'm at. I'm already kind of content with a lot of the games we have. I think I'm going to be pleased with this E3 regardless. So I think those are the two that would make me squeal like a little girl, though.
Nice.
It's Super Punch-Out and then anything at least decent F-Zero. Not just Captain Falcon in Fortnite or something.
Please, God, no. No. You take that back right now. I swear to God.
Like, don't even put that idea into their head.
Yoshiller, don't.
Well, that's where we're at, though. I mean, look, I already got my Pokemon Snap sequel, and I'm already content with the Smash Ultimate DLC fighters. If we get Mr. Driller, I can at least have the gloating rights saying I called it and nobody else did. But that's all I'm at. I could say a bunch of smaller things like, ooh, 1080p snowboarding, that'd be tight. But I think Super Punch-Out and new F-Zero would be my personal favorites.
Wave Race
Nice.
hasn't been seen in a long time too.
I was thinking that also.
Yeah, 1080 snowboarding. 1080 snowboarding and Wave Race are like in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think even the same team worked on both, so that's very
Right.
coincidental.
Nintendo owns both of those IPs, huh?
Yeah, they got GameCube games. I don't know how well they performed.
Don't
I
they
think
also
they were like
own
moderately okay.
Wave
Eternal
Race did well
Darkness?
for GameCube, I think. That's
Okay. Don't they own what? I'm
Eternal
sorry.
Darkness they own, but that's a different studio. That's Silicon Knights, I think.
Oh, right. And they're dead.
Oh, it is Silicon. You're right.
Yeah.
I was always more of a 1080 snowboarding guy, but hey, if we got Wave Race as well,
Uh,
I ain't complaining.
I would love both of those games. Another series that we haven't seen for such a long time is Advance Wars
Yeah,
Like, they
I'm
spun it
actually a
off
little surprised.
in the GameCube to like Battalion Wars or something like that. But
Yeah, there's a DS one too. I'm a
Yeah.
little surprised Nintendo hasn't done more with that IP because Fire Emblem's doing so well. I'm surprised they're not like, let's just do the same thing with Advance Wars, but that's like not waifus. It's just like war.
yeah,
It's like, no.
Well,
and
life
it's
is
different
what you
gameplay
want.
too.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with Advance Wars. I don't think it's done just yet, but we'll see.
PushDustIn, is that yours?
Yeah,
for
I
the
really want to
Advance Wars?
see Advance Wars because like Advance Wars has such a long history. Like it started out on the Famicom, and it would be really cool. I really like the Game Boy Advance one and the DS one. You know, I would like to see that series get another shot. I know we already talked about F-Zero, so I don't want to. I also really want to see F-Zero GX. But
Wow. F-Zero, Advance Wars, that's a pretty, like, even spread there across the genres. Nice. I also didn't know that Advance Wars is Famicom old.
yeah, it was Famicom
either.
Wars originally, and then
Huh.
they changed it to Advance Wars because of the Game Boy Advance, and then
Yeah.
Switch Wars.
yeah, Switch
Switch
Wars.
Wars. Or otherwise known as Twitter.com.
And X Wars.
Insulting.
Yeah, so anyway, mine might be considered rather simple. It might not. And you want to know something? God, I should have seen this coming at some point, but both of my predictions have been talked about already, so this one isn't like a, whoa, like, he's suggesting something new thing. But I'll lead up to it. We'll make it dramatic, okay? So it's a game, right? It's been around since 2014, all right? So a 2014
all right.
game.
Speculating, all right.
A game that's still very popular to this day, and a game that is also somehow the most popular and highest selling Switch game as of March 31st, 2021, that even eclipses the like of Animal Crossing and Smash Ultimate, which I feel like people seem to forget.
I'll take
sometimes.
Mario Kart 9 for 400.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I was looking up the data for it last night. I was like, oh my god, how this is a
I
Wii U port.
wasn't
How is this
lying,
so
Alec.
popular?
That's why I was saying
I
it.
know you weren't. Yeah, no. So like, the thing with Mario Kart, I cannot tell you how long it feels like since the last time I felt the rush, right, of experiencing new Mario Kart content. But boy, can I say that I miss it. If I'm being honest, 8 has marked a point in the series where I feel like the games have really kind of hit their stride, to be honest. The controls, the tracks, the music.
Oh, yeah.
Just everything about 8 just feels, stellar. And thanks to the way that the karts are designed, I think, that meaning that, they can drive across land, water, glide through the air, and even drive upside down with the little simple transform animation. The possibilities for track designs are nearly endless as a result. And, it's funny because we even talked about this too. I still remember the days of Diddy Kong Racing where
Diddy Kong
things...
Racing.
I do too, but things like that, depending on the track, ended up becoming a moderate or severe problem, depending on the scenario, because some tracks were designed for planes, some tracks were designed for,
Gotcha.
like the
Yeah, like
boats
the
and like the
volcano
carts. Yeah, and the tracks would change according to that, which, I think Mario Kart came up with a really ingenious solve for that. So, kudos to the Mario Kart team for coming up with such a really, really good solution. All this to say, though, 8 and Deluxe are wonderful, and I truly think they are the best, most accessible Mario Kart games to date. But Nintendo, oh my god, you can't see this, but I'm like bashing my head in. I'm so ready for a new game in this series, especially after seeing how much love and attention Mario Kart Tour from mobile has gotten over the years. Oh my god. Like the amount of new tracks, new characters, oh my
They
god.
give Daisy the
I don't get
cutest
it.
outfits, and she doesn't have them anywhere else. So
I don't
sad.
understand. Anyway, so in my dream scenario, right, we'll be getting a Mario Kart 9 developed for and taking full advantage of the Switch's hardware and maybe a Switch Pro, who knows. A full cast of characters pulling from not only Nintendo's past, but maybe some third-party characters as well, because, as we all know, we've already got some F-Zero tracks in there, which I would consider some of the best in Deluxe. I love Big Blue. We've also got Pac-Man in the arcade version, and even
Excite
characters like Sonic have a little bit of content in there through like amiibo figures and stuff. So, yeah, huge cast of characters and constructed a bit like Smash's roster, as I think series like Mario Kart could really benefit from including other franchises too. But I guess at that point, to Yoshiller's, discussion from earlier, at that point it may be called the Nintendo Kart. I don't know.
Well, for right now, Mario Kart, because it's developed by the in-house Nintendo team, all of the so-called guest characters that they've had have been other games made by the in-house Nintendo team. So that's Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, Animal Crossing. I guess next would be Pikmin or Star Fox.
You guys are forgetting
I mean,
Excitebike. Excite Bike was also.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
that
am.
too.
I did forget about it. There is the Excite Bike Arena, so you're absolutely correct.
mhm.
So,
And it's-
unless they, call it Nintendo Kart, I feel like it's only going to be the first in-house
DP.
first-party Nintendo. Yeah.
Well, newsflash, Yoshiller. This is
What's up?
void of all realism, okay?
That's fair.
Let me
You
just
got
have
me.
my ramble.
You got me. You're right. You're right. You didn't interrupt me. You're right. I'm
Just
sorry.
Let him have
I'm
this
just
man.
kidding
Let
with
the
you.
man dream.
So, all that, and then lastly, right, cosmetics, which is kind of what Sam was talking about. I love Mario Kart Tour's cosmetics, honestly, and I can't tell you how many times I've been roped back into playing again after seeing some cool character variation or outfit that I feel like that I just need to have. And small little note, most of those end up being seasonal, which leads into my next point. Make the game feel alive and connected through things like seasonal events, flash events, crossovers, stuff like that. Because if Nintendo intends to make this next Mario Kart game last as long as 8 has up until this point, it would only make sense and it would only make the experience better if we had content like that sprinkled out all the way throughout the way, all the way along the way. So, Mario Kart 9, Nintendo, make it happen. I beg of you, please. Oh my god. Anyway, that's my Mario Kart tangent. Sam, what do you think? What's your dream announcement?
I had a really hard time narrowing it down, but I'll give two. The first one, dream announcement, would be Kid Icarus, either Uprising port or
yes.
a new sequel to Uprising, or in the same vein as Uprising. Because I love Kid Icarus Uprising.
Me too.
Didn't Sakurai
And then the
make
other-
a company to make Kid Icarus Uprising even happen?
Yeah,
Well-
they.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you be upset if they announced a new Sin and Punishment game with online multiplayer?
I mean, I would not.
Because it's effectively the same type of gameplay as Kid Icarus
It's not as
Uprising.
pretty.
It's just not the. That's what I was gonna say. Like, do you want Kid Icarus because of the characters as well? Because that's totally
Yeah, well,
valid. But I'm just.
I think
okay.
Kid Icarus has a really cool, easy to play off of story, and the characters are fun. They have really cute voice acting. I wanted
The
I wanted
dialogue is
something
fun.
that explores more of like Dark Pit. I don't know. They could do so
Okay,
much.
I gotcha. No, you're completely fine. I was asking if you wanted it because of the gameplay or if you just wanted it because you like the IP. Both are valid answers. I was just trying to see where I was like picking your brain for a bit. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I understand
I mean, the gameplay is very good though. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little of both.
for sure.
But
I gotcha.
I think it would only do it well this time around because we won't have to buy a Circle Pad Pro.
Well, maybe like whatever. If there is a new iteration of the Switch, maybe it'll even be better for Kid Icarus gaming.
But what if you do though? What if you do have to buy an extension that goes on the side of your?
it's another circle
Yeah,
pad.
sure.
It's just another Joy-Con that goes on the right. Yeah.
Your input today has really tested me, but I would still buy it.
Hey, I heard you like circle pads. We put a circle pad aside the Joy-Con stick so you could have
Yeah.
both.
Oh no.
It comes with a stand as well. I actually still have
Oh,
my
perfect,
3DS
okay.
stand.
Oh, I forgot about
I-
this.
I have my 3DS stand because I used to use it back when I was recording 3DS gameplay when I was pointing a video camera at it, and it did help keep the 3DS
Yeah.
still.
I use
Yeah.
it for my
That's what I
Game
did.
and Watch Mario, so I always have the time right next to
Oh,
my
that's
computer.
a good one.
I don't even know where mine is.
I don't
I don't know
either.
where mine is either.
Remember they tried to
mine
push
around
cards
somewhere.
with Kid Icarus Uprising too, the trading cards.
Yeah.
They did.
And
I
some
have
were
those
exclusive to
still.
events or snacks
have a
in
bunch.
Japan.
It was
Oh, they were sold with snacks.
They're sold with snacks, and like
awesome.
there's some that were like limited, like event exclusive cards as well.
yeah, they did
so
not
they're
go that
super
far
rare.
with it here, but they had them at events. Like I think I don't know, probably one of the PAX Easts. I got some, and then you got a 3-pack with the game, I think. But there were like 60
Yes.
total. So how are you gonna get all of
Yeah,
those
some
in
of them
America?
were actually not released. Like there's code in the game for extra ones that were never produced.
So on that note, I think just like 2 years ago, out of nowhere, Sakurai or like some
Nintendo,
company
I
like tweeted out, yeah, just released one of the cards, and you could scan it with your 3DS and it would still work.
Yep.
So like they acknowledged, hey, we never released this one. That's our bad.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
the-
I'd be down for that. Or if they want to just do the same thing with Amiibo, I'm down with that
Ooh.
too.
Kid Icarus
Amiibo cards, yeah.
Uprising is such a messy development because, like, yeah, Sakurai made a studio, and it was kind of like hodgepodge put together, Project Sora,
Yeah.
and it just fell apart as soon as the game was out the door. So that studio does not exist anymore, which is why he works with Bandai Namco.
Right. So my question for that is, because it still sold reasonably well. It broke 1 million at least.
Yeah.
So like, who gets the profits from that? Does it just go to the company and then it
Nintendo
gets
still
paid as
owns
normal,
the
or does like Nintendo
IP.
absorb it?
Like,
Okay.
Nintendo just contracted the company to make it so, Nintendo would pay the company would pay their employees, and then...
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Interesting. What was your other one?
The other one, okay, the other one that I won't talk about is Nintendogs, and the one that I will talk about is a sequel to Nintendo Land for the Switch.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
I would love the Nintendo Land, because that game often gets forgotten about on the Wii U.
It's so good, though.
And
Yeah.
It's so good.
I love Nintendo Land.
Yeah, and I think you could do
so
something
You
with
really
the
needed-
online multiplayer and in-person multiplayer, couch co-op, whatever you wanted to do. Nintendo Land could work on the Switch.
What
As
that
long
game
as
really
they bring
needed.
back Toad Run. Or like
That's true.
Toad Chase, whatever it was called.
That game would be remembered a whole lot more if it just had a stage in Super Smash Brothers, but it never got one, and that always. I guess it didn't always confuse me. I just felt like it should have gotten
Monita
one.
for Smash. Oh, it'll be Nintendo Land
least
the
an assist
sequel,
trophy.
and then she'll be a new fighter.
Smash Fighter, perfect.
There you go.
I like it.
I like it too. Amanda, what's your dream announcement?
I mean, I kind of want to be that person and just be like, the Earthbound collection, naturally, is what I kind of want to be that person and say.
Hey, man, Reggie likes Mother 3.
That's true, and because I would love that. I think that would be the coolest. Otherwise, I think it would be fun to bring back some of the old Mario games from the Game Boy, like the original Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins, because those were so good. And I would like to just see those like just even remastered, even to a point where it's like Super NES quality, even where it's just in color and you can see everything a little bit bigger and play it on the Switch. I think that would be a lot of fun. Or, we've talked about Star Fox. I'd love to see another Star Fox. I'd love to see even Zero just done with like regular Switch controls rather than whatever it is that they did with the Wii U that just didn't work. But if they bring back Star Fox, I'd want them to keep Crystal because I liked her. I thought she was really cool.
Crystal's a good
I
character.
think Crystal's fine.
I
I get
loved
why
her.
she's not there because they rebooted it, but yeah, as a
Yeah.
character, she never bothered me.
I loved Crystal. I thought she was awesome. So like I would want to see her like come back since she like disappeared after the reboot.
And she's in
I kind
Smash
of want to
Ultimate
jump
now,
on your.
So.
She is. That's right. I forgot she was an assist trophy. Oh wow, I'm forgetting everything. I want to jump on your Mother collection point though.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, we all know the Mother 3 rumors, right? Like it's happening. It's gonna come to Wii U. Oh, okay. It's not coming to Wii U because it's coming to Switch. Okay, now I don't know. Like allegedly, Nintendo's just been sitting on it, but apparently the reason another rumor suggests that they haven't released the localized version of Mother 3 for Switch is because they're doing like a remake or something like that called Mother 3D.
Oh, okay.
So now that you've brought that up, my other thing, if we don't all want to just say F-Zero and have the same answer,
Mine's not
my other
F-Zero.
thing is I would love for that to just be real. Well, you know what I mean. It's a lot of people's answers. I would just love for Mother 3D just to be real.
Mother.
That's
Same.
Yeah.
The
That
internet
would
would
be a great-
actually implode if that actually is legit.
I mean, if new Pokemon Snap can happen, I mean,
Anything can happen.
I'd like some new Pokemon
That
Snap
sounds like a
DLC.
threat.
That would be that
Yeah.
would be another one.
DLC would be good. More like for new Pokemon or new tracks?
New Pokemon and new tracks, but I want more
Both.
Pokemon. Yep, both.
if you get a new track, by proxy you would get new
Hopefully.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
I
what
want
you
a new
want
track,
is a new
yes,
track.
with new Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I want
There you
Horsey,
go.
because Horsey's not in it. And I want Pachirisu, and I need both of them.
I want Rowlet.
Rowlet!
It's so wild that Rowlet's not in the
I
game.
need,
know.
I
Such
I'm
weird
surprised
choice.
Finnegan's not there
I
too.
need my favorite owl Pokemon
Yeah.
in this game, and I need it right now.
There you go. Alex, what's your dream announcement?
I'm gonna go completely left field. Rare replay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
I put Banjo-Kazooie on my bingo board, so...
Yeah, because
Oh, I need to do my
granted,
bingo board.
Microsoft has kind of said, yeah, we're not going to do anything else like really crazy first-party stuff on Switch. But, like, here's the thing, though. No. just...
True.
I was going to say something else, and then blank. So,
Microsoft's plan is to try to get as many Game Passes sold as possible because they're moving away from a console and more as a service.
yeah,
kind of like a Netflix.
that being said, though,
so
I worry about that being a thing with for a lot of stuff, but with Rare Replay, I worry less about it because that game came out in 2015. Most people who are getting onto Game Pass are not getting it for Rare Replay. I'm one of those people, but I am not what Microsoft's going for. Like, they're going for people who are trying to get, like, Halo or whatever stuff Bethesda's working on or anything that is related to Flight Simulator or Battletoads.
Game Pass has like 4 new titles every month. Or
No,
something
yeah,
like that, and
they're
they range from,
great.
Like,
Backbone's coming
small
this
indie
month.
games and
Yeah, it's a legitimately amazing deal, but with so many important Rare games coming off of Nintendo platforms, I feel like it would be great to get Rare Replay onto the Switch, especially because those who have played Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, unless they have an Xbox, they cannot play the original version of the game unless you try to get an N64. Great opportunity to put Rare Replay on Switch. That's like my major one. I think that would be great, and I feel like Xbox Game Studios should just do it.
Just do it.
So, I have a comment to that. I would love it too. Let me preface it with that. I just don't think it's gonna happen because if I was Microsoft, I would see Banjo as a marketing opportunity and be like, you want to know how to get more people to buy Rare Replay? Put Banjo in Smash and then force them to buy an Xbox.
Dream!
Like,
Let me
why
dream,
make it easier for
Daddy!
them when I know. I'm just saying. I think it's genius on Microsoft's end to do that. It's like, why would we put Rare Replay on
But
Switch when we
counterpoint
can
to your
force people to buy
counterpoint,
an
why
Xbox?
would you do that if you're not going to make another Banjo-Kazooie game?
Don't forget, didn't Phil Spencer have the Switch in the background?
yeah, I think there's some sort of Microsoft Nintendo connection.
It would be dope, and also Master Chief is the IP that put Microsoft on the map, and is one of the most important shooters in the gaming industry. That's not like James Bond, or Doom, and Doom
I
is
don't think that's a stretch.
a
I
little
think
bit
you're
too
right.
edgy for Smash, and a little bit too gory to work in Smash.
Gory.
Master Chief, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
And I think I've gone on the record saying in the past, my issue with Doom, obviously it's important, it's a cool franchise, is the main guy's name just Doom Guy? Like, is that his
Canonically,
official
I think
name?
so.
Okay.
Well,
Because that
I mean,
messes me
are
up.
you really playing Doom for the story?
No. I'm not playing it for the story. What my point is, like, what's the name of the character you put in Smash? Is it just Doom Guy?
Doomslayer.
Doomslayer would probably be a good one.
Because it sounds like such a prototype name. That's my issue. Is not the gameplay or the goriness of the game. It's the dude's name or lack thereof. That's why I think
also
Master
think
Chief has a
Master
better
Chief-
shot. Is just because we all know his name.
I also
Is
think
Master Chief a name?
John Master
I'm
Chief.
confused here.
John Master Chief.
I mean, it's not much better,
Yeah,
but
but
at least
everyone
everyone calls him Master Chief. Does anyone in the game go, "Yo, Doom Guy"?
No, I mean-
Like, I don't know.
I also am gonna say
I don't know.
what-
That's
what
my gripe.
like, we have all these different characters from all these different properties. What is the one character you think of when you think Xbox? Master Chief.
No, you're right. It's
So
Halo.
to
yeah,
me, but
you're
that's
right.
more of a realistic prediction and not like unrealistic and like dream stuff like Rare Replay is. The only other thing I could possibly think of as like a dream thing would be to see Square put something like Kingdom Hearts onto the Switch. Not just like something I would buy. It's just like I think of how cool would it be if they did that? And then I realized that would be like 4 cartridges and all digital and like 100 gigs. So maybe not, actually.
I have a quick thought about Rare Replay. What if it was Rare Replay and maybe some others, but we'll just say Rare Replay for now, where you don't buy the game, but you can't play it on the Switch unless you log in with Xbox Game Pass.
I mean, Minecraft already requires you to log in with a Microsoft account.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? That could...
But
I like that idea.
I mean, I would buy a Game Pass to play Rare Replay on my Switch.
I mean, Game Pass is a really good deal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do xCloud. Like, they have xCloud running on mobile now.
Only on Android, though.
And, only on Android because Apple is pretty bad with their store
Because
policies,
Apple
actually.
is Apple, and that's why they're currently in a trial with Epic Games.
But maybe next month, only on Android and Switch.
I would take it. Give me the opportunity to play Banjo wherever I will, and I will do it in Microsoft. I swear to God. don't tempt me. I'm gonna do it.
But would you guys be okay with Rare Replay if it's only on the cloud? Like, if it's not like a game that you can actually download to your system?
It wouldn't be
or
my
a game that you need
preference,
internet?
but I would play it still.
I
long as it's
would
playable.
argue that I think
Yeah,
there are
what
other
she
games
said.
that deserve cloud play treatment other than Rare Replay. Like, I get why they did it with Control. I get why they did it with Hitman 3. I get it why they kind of did it with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, like, years ago in Japan. I don't feel like Rare Replay is at a level where it can do that, because none of those games are, like, demanding enough to do that. So I feel like that's not the right play for Rare Replay. Now, if they did it for something like, oh, you could play Halo, but it's cloud version and you need a Microsoft account, sure, whatever, okay, fine. But Rare Replay, I don't think that feels right.
Now, I guess follow-up question to your Rare Replay announcement: who announces it?
That was what I was thinking too. I don't know.
It would be a joint thing where Phil Spencer and Doug Bowser went on camera together, shaking hands.
I feel like it would be a Nintendo thing.
Actually, I feel like it would be a
Really?
Microsoft thing.
I feel like Microsoft would want it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ubisoft, they announced the Mario Rabbids, not Nintendo.
Well,
And they announced
Oh,
Starling
That's
too.
true.
well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, it comes down to who initiates it, because the only reason Banjo was in the Nintendo conference and not the Microsoft conference is because it's still part of Super Smash Brothers, a Nintendo game.
that being
So
said, though,
Nintendo's technically the
Ori showed up
initiator.
on a Nintendo
Everything
Direct
else,
because and not through a Microsoft thing of hey, it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, but like if you're talking about Microsoft's conference and you're talking about those intermission parts where like between them showing games, one of their guys comes on the stage and just starts talking about stuff, I could easily see some guy being like, "Oh, by the way, we're happy to announce that Game Pass is now on Nintendo Switch."
I think I kind of agree with PushDustIn in that if they were to announce it, it would probably be in a Microsoft.
Well, we shall see
presentation.
on the 13th now, won't we?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you exactly how it'll go, Alex. Now that you say that, it's gonna go
Okay,
like this.
okay,
All right.
okay.
Phil Spencer's gonna come on, and I'm gonna do my best. Phil
Okay, I'm
Spencer,
ready,
all right?
I'm
It's
ready.
gonna go like this. Just imagine that my hands are holding I'm holding my hands in front of me.
visiting.
Hi, I'm Phil Spencer, and welcome to Microsoft's E3. We're always expanding Game Pass as a service, and today we're excited to announce that our good friends at Nintendo, we're going to be bringing the Game Pass over to them to bring more value to our customers. Something like
Wow,
Pause
wow.
for applause.
But he would still have to have somebody from Nintendo to be like, look at us, we're friends.
Wow.
Yeah, then Doug Bowser comes up and they shake
Wow.
hands with
Yeah.
their
Yeah, and then
bald
Doug
heads.
Bowser says, "Ah,
No,
yes,
like,
Wow,
Let's be
Phil was in
friends.
the room. Wow, how lucky are we?
Kind of was.
Alec, I'm not trying to talk smack, but I love that at the beginning you were like, "Hi, I'm Phil Spencer, and welcome to Microsoft's conference."
Phil Spencer showed up drunk. It's
Very
not
much
my
Microsoft.
responsibility, Okay.
Very, very much Microsoft. This is Microsoft. All right, I'm sorry. I just wanted to call that out.
Tim Apple.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
I'm
Phil,
Tim-
Microsoft,
Well,
and Tim Apple.
All right. And I think that's gonna do it for today's discussion. So, thank you guys so much for joining me today for this month's episode. I appreciate it.
You're
This is
welcome.
really nice.
Thank you.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you for having me on.
It's starting to feel like a little family. I love it. Anyway, I've ran out of water, so it's getting hard to talk. I'm going to do my best to make sure that this podcast is run on a monthly basis and gets regularly updated over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. That way you can listen to these discussions in whichever way you prefer. We're pretty much at the end here, but before we go, I wanted to take a second, go around the table one last time, and give each of you 5 seconds to tell us about yourself and where our listeners can find you on the internet, starting with you, Mr. Alex.
Hi, my name is Alex Rosenberg. I am the media director at Zelda Universe. I also play video games with absolutely zero skill on Twitch at Luca_Starks. It's accurate. I'm also on Twitter at Luca_Starks. And I technically have a TikTok for dance things, and I have barely used it. But you could go follow that TikTok for the 3 things I guess I posted.
I'm on my way right now.
Me too.
Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam, or NintendoFanGirl, or NFG, and you can find me under NintendoFanGirl on Twitter and YouTube, and the NintendoFanGirl on TikTok and Facebook, and NinFangirl on Twitch.
Nice. And you also post TikToks, which I think are really funny.
Oh, thanks.
Amanda.
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter at Amanda Van Heil. I stream on Twitch at Panda Princessa. I host Zelda News at Zelda Universe, and I also host the Shine Sparkers podcast. And honestly, you just find me at places. I don't know. I just show up anywhere that there's Nintendo stuff related.
Amanda hears Nintendo, and she's like, what?
I just show up there. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, here's Amanda.
Now, are you still doing your charity series on Twitch as well?
So I just finished up doing the St. Jude Play Live. I did $500 for that. My goal for the year was to at least raise $1,000 for various charities, and I've already reached that. So I've done
Nice.
I've done Best Friends Animal Society, Make-A-Wish Georgia, and St. Jude. I was not expecting to already raise $1,000 by at the halfway point. So I'm sure there will be other ones I do later throughout the year, but these were the ones I was hoping to at least do. So I have to revise my goal because I'm
and you
already
also have the
met
very,
it.
very cute Tingle costume.
Nice.
That's right. I love my Tingle costume.
Oh my god, yes. Well, yeah, definitely go follow her on Twitch for all that awesome charity work that you do.
Thank you.
PushDustIn.
Yes, I'm PushDustIn. You can follow me on most social media platforms by just looking up PushDustIn. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, but I haven't made any TikToks except for me doing a dinosaur dance that I haven't published yet.
You better publish it right now.
I hear dinosaur and I'm sold.
Publish it now. Do it. You
Well,
won't.
I did a Twitter poll several months ago. I was like, I made a TikTok. Should I publish it? And everyone said no. It was 80% said
Don't
no.
listen to them.
And it just
do it
broke my
anyway.
heart. So
Sharks.
I'm here to tell you that they're wrong.
Aw, Push. I used to... I want to be clear.
Yeah.
I used to not like tweets like that. Whenever it's like, should I stream? Who's gonna say no? Who's gonna be like,
it
no,
was
you shouldn't stream?
overwhelmingly. If it was 50 or 60%, I would be like, okay, maybe I can get away with it. But so many people were like, no, go. I don't like TikTok.
I don't like
Go
TikTok.
away. I use
Well-
TikTok quite a bit. Yeah, I'm addicted to it as well. So
don't-
I'm looking forward
gotta still
to
figure out my
making
brand
content
myself.
eventually for TikTok. Yeah, that's the
Well,
hard
I'm
part.
sure if they knew that it was a dinosaur dance, they
Yeah.
would have all said yes.
Can you please post that in our Discord group? I want to see
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I want to see that.
If
I
the
love
rest of the
dinosaurs.
world can't see it, then I want to see it.
Yeah,
And also recently I started doing YouTube streams here and there. I originally was trying to do a Twitter talk, but that failed miserably because Twitter cannot handle the talk, the Clubhouse kind of setting. So moved it over to YouTube. So I'm also PushDustIn there.
And the most recent one you did with John and
Yeah, John Com, Taco, and Riley Little, and myself. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I need to go listen to that at some point if I can.
Yeah, we talked a lot about what third-party characters could work in Smash.
Nice.
And just general predictions. This week, actually, later tonight, I'll be doing another stream where I focus on what Nintendo characters could join Smash, and also we'll be reading over some fake 4chan leaks and laughing about that while I drink sake.
That sounds
That
Really
sounds
good.
Sounds
great.
awesome.
Oh my
Link us to that because I want to hear that.
I
for
also
sure.
want to hear this.
me
I may
too.
also join you in watching that and just also drinking.
Yeah, and I'd love to have you guys on. I already reached out to Amanda, but in the future, I'd love to have you guys.
Say the
everyone
word,
chat
I'm
on
there.
at some point.
Heck
For
yeah.
sure. You know, this is actually a little side note before we get to Yoshiller to sign us off. I was hoping that we could also use this little group chat that we're in as like a means to collaborate with each other.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm
So
down.
For sure.
Yeah, totally.
I'm down.
Always feel
I'm down.
free to like, even if I'm not involved in it, we could just use it as a place to like.
Like,
you know,
hey, I'm playing
cross-pollinate
this
with each other.
4-player game.
You guys
Everyone
could feel
come.
free to go ahead.
Whoever's available.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%.
So,
I
just
love
a
it.
little, Yeah, just a little side note because.
Also, side note, if people are in New Jersey, just give me a shout. I will go hang places.
I'm coming down to your Six Flags. I don't know when.
Yeah, same if you're ever in, any of y'all are ever in the Atlanta area.
Sam, you and I are going to
I
Six
wanna
Flags
ride the
when-
Jersey
as soon as there's
Devil.
an opening day. When Jersey Devil gets a
I want
date,
to ride it so bad.
when Jersey
oh my
Devil
God.
gets a date,
put
Sam,
together.
Amanda, you
I'm
guys are both
coming.
getting a text. We're all.
Absolutely.
Y'all can crash at my
I'm dead
apartment. We'll
serious.
go.
I'm gonna come into town.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Hopefully, we'll make it a
Wow.
week. We'll do it.
I'm down.
Okay.
This is just happening right now, I guess. Yoshiller, sign us off, man.
All right. Hello and goodbye. I'm Yoshiller. I edit for a bunch of other YouTube channels, including my own, where I am trying to get back on track for doing daily content. I post walkthroughs on the weekdays and online multiplayer content on the weekends. Otherwise, you might also know me for wearing a Yoshi hat at events, so hopefully events will happen again and I can put my Yoshi hat back on. People can say, I know you! And I'll be like, cool! All right, anyway, that's me. I'm Yoshiller. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and then if you don the Yoshi hat, maybe some guy that took photos at E3 back in 2015 or 16 will look back at him and say, hey, wait a minute, there's a guy with a Yoshi hat in the background.
Well, I have an announcement about my
What?
Yoshi hat.
Is it the one on Twitter?
I have a blue one and a black one is on the way.
Oh,
I
snap.
got.
Photo
I will take
shoot.
pictures with them on. Yeah, alternate costumes as they are. I wore the green Yoshi hat in the first place to stand out. But granted, I don't own the character of Yoshi. The hat was only like $5, so anyone can go and buy a Yoshi hat. And I just lucked out that like nobody did. Now they're selling the Yoshi hats at Super Nintendo World, and they seem to be a pretty popular item. So to stand out, I have alternate color Yoshi hats. So you can now see me in
Yeah.
green, blue, or black. It'll be situational based on the event. But that's me, the guy with a
Does this
Yoshi
mean
hat.
that we're about to
Like
get?
a funeral wearing a black Yoshi hat.
We're gonna get the edgy Yoshiller era now with the black Yoshi hat.
That's
Yes.
Choose it
Put on all
based
your
on
fake
Yoshiller.
lip piercing.
Just
I'll do it. I'll do it. Try me.
Yoshi version of Welcome to the Black Parade in the background.
Try me. Challenge me to something. I'll buy WarioWare twice, and I'll wear
That's
an edgy
right.
Yoshi
I'm going to
outfit. I'll
challenge
try
you.
it.
Do
Let's
it. You
go.
won't. And then at me on Twitter.
Okay. You got it.
You know, and with that, I think that's going to conclude our discussion. So, once again, if you're still watching and listening, thank you for making it this far. And I look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts in the comments, on our Discord, every place that you guys can communicate your thoughts with me. I'm really looking forward to hearing them. So, we'll be back next. Ooh, I was going to say next month because I'm used to saying it, but actually, we'll be back again soon for some more discussion post E3. But for now, there's only one thing left to say before we take off, and that is, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Okay? Okay. Bye!